Hi, everybody. I'm James, and welcome back to Storytime with James. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. All right, this one is called Time is of the Essence. Yes, yes. Look, it was a period in my life where I couldn't, to save my life, be on time. Yes, I would make up stuff and I would make up elaborate uh, lies all about being late. Sometimes I would even call off, because I couldn't be on time. Look, one day I was getting ready to go to work. No, it was the night before. And I was in the bed. I got in the bed like at a decent time. I got in the bed at 11 o'clock, 11 something, PM. And I couldn't go to sleep. So then I end up getting on the phone. So I end up talking for a couple of hours, laughing and everything, And that morning, I had to be to work at 9 o'clock, okay? 9 a.m. Why did I wake up at 8:55, So I was jumped up and trying to throw clothes on and everything, and I was late. But they didn't care about that. They didn't care about that. They let that one go. So the next day, once again, I had a problem going to sleep. I couldn't go to sleep. So all of a sudden, that next morning, I woke up again. I had like 6 minutes to get my clothes together, get lunch and everything together, and then go to work. I was late. The inevitable was going to happen anyway because I was going to be late. So this time I called in. I told him, I said, "Hey, I'm running a little late. I'm on my way. I'm like 10 minutes away." I thought I was pretending like I was on my way, but I wasn't even dressed at the time when I called. So I jumped up and trying to get dressed and everything. You always leave something. Always leave something. So I left my wallet. So I was driving and I was bawling too. Then I slowed down. I said, "Oh my God, I left my wallet." My debit card was in there, the license, everything was in there. So I had to turn around, go back, get everything. And see, I had already told them that I was going to be late, that I was like 10 minutes away from them. But now I was like 20 minutes away. So I came to work and I tried to get working quick. And my supervisor came to me and said, "Hey, James, why you keep being late, man? What's wrong?" I said, "Oh no, it's just I was just running late today. I had to go back and get my wallet and stuff. I made up some cock and bull story, but I did have to go back and get my wallet. But I was late anyway, so he let that go. He let it go. Then after that, the next day I was late. The next day I was late. I was late for 2 weeks straight. But I thought I was getting away with it, but they was writing everything down. Writing what time I got there, what time I got there, what time I got there. So then after like about a month of this, they called me in the office and said, "Hey, James, look, we really like you. We really like you. And look, when you excellent worker when you show up. Okay? When you show up." So I was like, they said, "Look, I'm gonna cut you some slack on this one right here, okay? Now, I'm giving you a verbal warning, okay? A verbal warning. Don't be late, okay? And he was looking dead at me like that, and I was like, I'm not gonna be late. You know, that it was just some circumstances. Look, don't be late, okay? Tell me something why the next day I was late again. I couldn't help it. I don't know what was wrong, but I could not help it. And my job was nothing but 15 minutes away from me. And I couldn't even make it in time, you know. So this next time I was late, now it's a write-up now. And they've been instructed to write me up too. Because management had told them to write me up. So the supervisors had to do it or they would get right up. So they came to me and said, "Hey, James." I said, "Yeah, what's up, what's up, what's up?" He said, "Come here for a second." And I was thinking on the way going to the office. I said, "Oh man, here we go." They said, "Look, you were late again, all right? Hey, my hands are tied on this one. I got to write you up. So here, you know, wrote everything up." He said, "Hey, next time you're late, that see this write up is gonna stay in your files, okay? If you're late again, if you're late again, man, it's gonna be suspension. It's gonna be suspension there. You're gonna get suspended if you get wrote up again, all right?" And I said, "Oh, okay, okay, okay." He said, "Please be on time. If you're not gonna be, if something happened, just let us know or something like that. Don't let us know at the last minute." So I said, "Okay, okay, okay," because we got a job to run here. You know, this is a factory, and look, we need you on the line. Okay." I said, "Okay, okay, okay. Yes, I'll be there." The next day, the very next day, I woke up and I was stretching and stuff. Oh man! And then it dawned on me, dude, you got to go to work today. And I looked over at the clock. 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to be at work. I'm supposed to be there, ready to go on the line. So I said, "Man, oh my God, man, I can't believe this." So, but fortunately for me, that day, I got a pass that day because my supervisor wasn't there. He had a supervisor filling in for him. And oh my goodness, man, I made it through. I made it there. And I said, I thought I was supposed to be here this time. They said, "No, no, okay, okay, go ahead, get on your line, get on your line." And I got on there and I put in work too, boy. So I was happy, but the next day, once again, I woke up. I was running late. I had 10 minutes to go. Matter of fact, 8 minutes to get there. I was balling trying to get to work, but I made it. I made it in time. I made it in time without a minute to spare. Without a minute to spare. But it's a lot of stuff I left. I left my IDs at the house. I left some keys that I needed to get into to certain things in at the job. So I told them I left the key, and they was mad about it, you know. But you know, so after that day, I was wore out. Okay, I got home and I said, "This time I'm gonna take a shower now and get ready for bed." You know, I got in the bed. Tell me why my phone rang at like 12 something at night. You know, my phone rang and I answered. I said, "Hello." "Hey man, what's up? What's up? What you doing?" I said, "Look, I got to go to work in the morning. I can't be late. All right." That's it, man. I hung the phone up. Then I laid down and couldn't go to sleep. Couldn't go to sleep again. So finally, I went to sleep at like clock 30 in the morning, maybe 3 or 4. I had to be up at 9. So I went to sleep, woke up late again. This time, it was no minutes. It was like 2 minutes to go, 2 minutes to 9. Okay? 2:09. So it was no way I can make it. So I had to call in. Hey man, I'll be there, man, but I'm running late, man. They said, all right, come on, come on. So I get there, and they didn't say nothing to me. I was working, went to work, did everything, did all my shipping labels and everything like that. But right before it was time to get off, they say, hey, come here, James. I came and said, yeah. They said, look, didn't they tell you not to be late again? I said, I know, but I couldn't help it today because I had to, I made up something, They said, well, okay, forget that. They wrote me up, and then they said, I'm suspended for 3 days. So now I got to miss 3 days of pay, plus being docked for being late, So I sat around the house. Then they told me to come back on the 3rd day. That 3rd day, I had been laying around the house so much that it happened again. I was obsessed with being late, This is going on 3 months, So I got in there, and I was mad at everybody, mad at everybody. I felt as if it was their fault that I was being late all the time and stuff like that. I don't know what my mind was at, but well, they had to let me go. They finally let me go. And I went home. I felt so low. I felt low. I had to drive home. And I was driving slow. Drive home. Got home. Put all my stuff down. And why the next morning I woke up in ahead of time. I don't know what it was, man, but when I realized that I didn't have to go to work, I sat there and I took time to reflect on what is the cause of all of this. And the cause was me. Me. It's my fault. I didn't get up. It's nobody else's fault but my fault. I had to take accountability for my own actions, all right? So I that's what I said to myself. I said that to myself, and I said, look, you got to be on time. Time is of the essence, okay? You have to be on time because nobody's going to hold your hand and make you get up and go to work and stuff like that. You got to get your own butt up. So I was saying it to myself, and I sat there and I thought about it and I beat myself up about it, So then I went for another job. I had an interview, but I made it on time for the interview. And I got the job. Well, they told me at the job that I had just lost, that they wasn't going to put it on my application, that on my record that I got fired. So if anybody else called down there and wanted a recommendation, they would have got a clean recommendation. It's just like I had resigned and stuff like that. So after that, after I get this new job, I had a new lease on life. New lease on life. I said to myself, I'm not going to be late. I'm not going to let nothing keep me from getting my sleep and getting up and going to work. Okay? No more. And the next day, I got up. I got up an hour ahead of time and got everything together, made sure I didn't leave nothing, and I drove and I went to work. And it been going like that ever since, you know. You know, until I took accountability of being late and stopped blaming everything else, blaming other people. If such and such wouldn't have called me, I would have been, you know, because that's what they got mute on your phone for. Just hit the mute button, you know, or something. Ugh. But it's it's me. And if you're late, it's you. You making yourself late. It's nobody else's fault but yours. All right? So get your butt up, get your butt in gear, and get your butt up and go to work and make some money. Because man, if you keep being late, and they keep docking you. And then after you be late so many times, they expecting you to be late. So they start checking for you. Checking. That ain't a good feeling, man. It ain't a good feeling. And see, look, you can't help unforeseen stuff that happens to you and then make you late. But don't make up these lies and stuff and try to make lies up. Tell them, oh man, when I was getting ready to come, man, a police pulled me over and stuff like that. They say, okay, let me see your ticket. Oh man, I happen to have lost the ticket, you know, or my car broke down. When you do that, it happened for real. It happened for real. You may get away with it a couple of times, you know, but sooner or later it's gonna happen for real. Then what you gonna do? You just told them that your grandmother was real sick and stuff like that, and your grandmama died. Then you gonna come back and say your grandma was sick. You know, they say I thought your grandmama died. You know, you say, oh well, she had died. Yeah, she died, but they brought her back to life, and now she's sick again. Don't lie like that. Don't lie. Just face the fact. If you're gonna be late, call in. Tell them that look, I'm running a little late. I will be there at such and such time. You know, and try not to be late again. Okay. I had to learn a valuable lesson. I had to learn work ethic, punctuality. You know, be on time. Okay. So now I'm always on time and I'm always work. And if I got to work, I'm there. You know, because nobody's going to do it for me. I got to do it myself. All right. Okay. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave me a comment if you like. And hit that bell notification. Hit that bell notification so that you know every time I drop another video. And share, share, share. Share my videos with your family. Share them with your friends. Share them with your loved ones. And even share it with your enemies. Adios. Salamat.
Salamat!